Joe. This is Joseph Carlson, and this is episode 138 of Gaming with Grief. And I'm calling this episode First Impressions, A Plague Tale and Lost Words. But before that, I want to remind you guys that this podcast will hit my website, www.gamingwithgrief.com, Monday morning at 7 a.m. Please go there, leave a message, let me know what you think of the show, or you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple iTunes or the Google Play Store. It's just the Gaming with Grief podcast with Joseph Carlson, or you can write me an email at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com. That's gwgpodfellows@gmail.com. And you can find me on Twitter at JustLittleJoe. And like I say every week, and I really mean it, I will try to get better about promoting the episodes because I'm very bad at that. This is just a really simple, quick episode, but I previewed two games. One of them was A Plague Tale: Innocence. That's the full title. I couldn't fit the full title into my whatever. Anyway, it's called A Plague Tale: Innocence. And I want to tell you a little bit about that. This is the first impression episode. So I think what I'm going to do going forward, since it's a new year, is do quick impressions of maybe two games or a game, and then the next episode do like a spoiler cast. Definitely that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to lightly spoil just the setup actually for A Plague Tale and everything. And next episode will be like a spoiler cast and things like that for A Plague Tale. This, just to get the nuts and bolts out of the way, I did some research about the studio. It's by Asobo Studios. It came out on May 14th, 2019. I played it on Xbox Game Pass. I have a Series S. Not even a Series S, and a 1S. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind. They worked on other games like Microsoft Flight Simulator and The Crew 2, along with a lot of others. They're located in France. This game was nominated for several games. It was nominated in the 2019 Golden Joystick Awards. It was nominated for Best Audio, Game of the Year, Best Art, Game Design, Best Narrative, Best Adventure Design Game. The Game Awards 2019, it was nominated for Best Narrative, and it won a Steam Award for the Outstanding Story-Rich Game in 2019. There's a lot of other nominations that I got from Wikipedia. But yeah, I guess they said this was the first... This was the first original title they had created since 2009 with a game called Fuel, which I'm not familiar with. But it looked on their website to be a racing game. The studio is located in France. It seems like they're a little bit smaller studio. Basically, the A Plague Tale: Innocence is it's an action stealth puzzle game. You play as Amicia. The game takes place during 14th century France during the Black Plague. You have a little brother named Hugo who has been ill since he was a child. Your mother, Beatrice, is trying to work on an elixir or potion. She's an alchemist. She's trying to work on a cure for Hugo because he has migraines would be the best way to describe them, I guess. And anyway, the plague basically comes to these people. And not only that, but I don't know if they're French. There's some British voice actors that play the game in English. And Inquisition is coming to town because they want Hugo for some reason. And there's a massive event at your estate. Your family is the Deroon family. I hope I'm saying that right. And Hugo's suffering something called a malachor, if I wrote it down right. This obviously has an independent feel. There's moments of the face stacking and everything on my Series S was very good, and then other times where it seemed very wooden. You meet obviously some side characters. They obviously, I think, spent more time with Hugo and Amicia trying to get them right. But there's a lot of like horror elements in this game because it has to do with the plague, and the rats are introduced. That's like a big mechanic. I think they have a rat tech involved. But anyway, I just wanted to give the general rundown so you knew what you were dealing with. Again, it's a stealth action game with some light puzzle elements. What I really find fascinating in the game, and the reason why I came to this game, is because many people that I listen to in the gaming space and stuff like that said that the game is very good about really contextualizing death in a game. And I found after playing it that is true. It seems like you have a massive moment where you're trying to protect your brother, you get separated, this is very early in the game, and you have to choose to kill somebody. And there's really no way around it because I think they're trying to hammer this home. I read on Wikipedia that they really wanted this to be about innocence and the loss of innocence and family, which that all came through, because Hugo is sick early in his life. His sister does not see him a lot, and they don't really know each other, even though I think he's like 5 or 6. Probably 5. But the voice actors are trying to shout out. Charlotte McBurry did Amicia, and Logan Hannon did Hugo. They did an amazing job. There's other characters that did equal as well. There's a character named Roderick. I couldn't find the voice actor for that, so apparently I didn't look hard enough for it. He does a good job too. Anyway, they do a good job of contextualizing when Amicia has to kill someone to, save her brother, and in turn, she talks about it through the game. They have loved ones that die. They meet people on the road that die, and it always comes back. Hugo doesn't understand why the things are happening there because he's young and he's innocent. That was kind of their theme of innocence, of why is this happening? Why am I, feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Why are we having to do these certain things? Why are we having to kill these people? But they kill you. And I did like the mechanic in there, which I guess is a big deal for more modern horror games, but the idea that it was a one-hit kill on your end, so if you were spotted or anything, that was it. That was game over. You had to be very careful. You had to be very precise with your shots. And I think it is good, and it isn't something that in the beginning of the game they bring up and then drop. That's one thing that I noticed with some games where they just, you kill someone at the beginning, and they're like, well, now I'm just murdering everybody. There's several times in the game, even towards the end, where Amicia says, I've done a lot of horrible things, and I hope I can be forgiven, for what I've done. You pray for people that have died, things like that. Like, it isn't a one-and-done thing. They do mention, I think it was their website or Wikipedia, that Hugo becomes a little bit less innocent, which I could definitely see. They are coming out with a sequel to the game. It's supposedly going to come out in 2022, so this year, and nothing more is known of it. The first game is obviously called A Plague Tale Innocence. The second game is called A Plague Tale Requiem. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I want to see if they have more money, time, and resources, because although this is a great game, you do see there's some stuff around the edges that was a little iffy. There was a couple of clipping issues. I will say, with the plague element and the constant theme of death, there's some truly horrific scenes where you have to go through dead bodies or go through dead carcasses of animals, and it is really bad, and you commented on it, and I felt, you feel a little bit of that weight in the game because it feels terrible to do that. And again, it's not something that is brushed over in the beginning of the game. Even towards the end of the game, they bring it up again, and it seems like Hugo is different now, but he's still a kid, and I really enjoy the game, and I think will definitely be the next episode 139. I'll do like a spoiler cast, so I'll take a really quick break, and I'll come back and I'll show you guys. Or I'll talk to you guys about Lost Words Beyond the Page. That's the full title. Again, the title wouldn't fit in the description, so it's called Lost Words Beyond the Page. I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back, and I'm here to talk to you about Lost Words Beyond the Page. I took some notes. I played it for about I'm like an hour in. I think it's only a 4 or 5 hour game. I go all the time. I try to go to howlongtobeat.com, and that'll kind of tell you, a general, general length for the game. And it'll, I try to go there to plan, obviously, the podcast and make sure that, I'm not doing something that's like 150 hours. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get through this. Anyway. The other game that I'm going to talk about is called Lost Tales Beyond the Page. This one's pretty amazing. It was done by Modus Games, Sketchbook Games, and The Fourth State. It came out on April 6, 2021, and it was released. That's when it was released, and it's on pretty much every platform, even Stadia. I'm playing on an Xbox Game Pass, so there's that. this is a really unique game because, well, one, let me tell you guys, it won several awards. I only wrote down a few, but if you go to their official website, you'll see all the awards they won. They won the best indie game at the Game Connection Paris in 2017, and they were the winner of the best story game connection for USA in 2016. So yeah, I don't know if that means like a demo came out because it was released for consoles obviously in 2021. So. But yeah, I'm playing it on Game Pass. It's a really neat game. The idea is you are playing Izzy. She gets a journal from her grandmother, and that's how you play the game. She is narrating the game. You play as a person jumping from word to word in an actual journal as the pages, flip from left to right. You jump on the words as like a platform. You can move certain words to create new platforms. And at the end of each chapter you write in the book, you basically jump and a fold in the page or rip in the page. At the end of each chapter, you jump into the page because the main theme is that you want to be a writer and you've written about a place called Astoria. And you, in the very first instance, you create a character. I went with Robin. And you basically play the section that you just wrote about, that you were Robin in this world and you... you become the guardian of the Fireflies. That's where I've played through. You meet your grandmother, who was the old guardian of the Fireflies, but she's passing the mantle on to you. And I love, this is, everybody is from the UK, all the voice actors. And there's this great line where when you become the guardian of the Fireflies, your grandma says, great, maybe I can go have a lie down. Which, I don't understand every British idiom, but I get that. I just want to take a nap. Great. You're doing the job. I'm in retirement now. It's really heartfelt. My friend recommended it to me because there is some themes of grief and loss. I read a little bit up in the game, and apparently, I think it was in a trailer too, either her grandmother dies later or her parents go through a divorce. I read a little bit researching the game. They didn't really give a lot away. Even on the Wikipedia page, the description is basically what I've been through so far, so it doesn't really give away too much. But there is some stuff she's going to be exploring in this notebook. And this is a background. Apparently, there's a place called like Welcome in the UK. It's 2 L's, WELLCOM. And there's psychologists that work with children that try to help children deal with grief and trauma and stuff like that. So if that is who they work with to make the game, I want to see where it goes. I will say very early on, it doesn't seem to be optimized for Xbox that well. This is a platform I'm playing on. It, although I love the journal style, it's like this very like watercolor. You're writing in a journal. It looks like somebody's handwriting when a sentence appears. The narration is really great. That is all really responsive. But when you go to Astoria, it seems a little grainy. And at first I thought, oh, this is definitely a style. But there seems to be some technical hiccups. Like it stutters a little bit. And I'm thinking of games like Broken Sword from a long time ago that were about Templars and things, where it's got this like Saturday morning cartoon / 16-bit style. And it seems like that's what the game's going for. But there does seem to be some hiccups. Again, you don't really come to my website to do that. I just want to give you guys context. Maybe if you were playing it on a streaming platform, it would be better, maybe? I don't know. They are advertising it for Stadia. And, maybe if you're playing it on PC, it's also on Steam. I don't actually know how much it is on Steam because I, again, played it on Game Pass. But other than that, I do want to see where it goes. It does seem like something bad's going to happen because although this does seem very whimsical right now, it seems like there's going to be a big come down, a big whatever. So hopefully, as the game continues, it's a very short game. From again, I went to how long to beat. I think this is only a 4 or 5 hour game, so it shouldn't be that hard to do. But I recommend it if you guys have Game Pass. Definitely check it out. It's worth checking out so far. It has me enraptured. I hope at the stop at the end that I will find it good. Some of the trophies are weirdly labeled though, because it'll say like E1, E2, and I don't know if that's just like chapter 1, chapter 2. I don't know if that's something that, I don't know, maybe they just didn't want to be give away too much. Maybe it's like Astoria chapter 1, Astoria chapter 2. I'm not sure, but I'm having a good time so far. The narrative I think is going to pull me through more than the gameplay. Like I said with the Plague Tale Innocence, I think they were Plague Tale Innocence was a little rough around the edges, but a little bit more refined. I think this one's a little bit more, a little bit rougher around the edges, but I think it's maybe a smaller team. It looks very independent. There was a lot of studios helping out on this, so it looks like they got some funding from the UK for game development, which is fine. And anyway, it looks like it's going to be a really good turn. So that's kind of a little shorter, a little sweeter episode this week. Anyway, just quick impression videos. Next week I'll have the Plague Tale Innocent spoiler cast, and then the following week I'll have the Lost Words spoiler cast. That way, if you guys want to play along, you can. A Plague Tale is about 10 to 12 hours. Lost Words is about 4 to 5 hours, hopefully, from what I'm reading. So with that, I think everybody have a good week. But I want to remind you guys, this podcast will hit my website, www.gamingwithreef.com, Monday morning at 7 a.m. Please go there, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the show, what I can do to improve. Or you can drop me a suggestion for a game you want me to play or something like that. Also, subscribe to the podcast on Apple iTunes or the Google Play Store. Or you can write me a direct email at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com. Again, you can leave a comment too about a show, or if you want to, give me a suggestion, do it there. And follow me on Twitter at JustLittleJoe. So with that, I think have a good week, and I will talk to you guys again next week. Bye.